Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is Trust Christian in the Vault, episode 393, Market Sentiment Report. Fear, as an acronym, works. And this is just one of those moments, once again, where we had to bring Cornell the Trader through. Somebody that we want to talk to about some of the topics that ultimately, we could talk about in the market since we got him on the line here today. We're going to talk about his thoughts on the market. He doesn't sound too optimistic. We can tell you that right now. And we're just going to go ahead and hop straight into it. But this is the market sentiment report. Fear works. When you hear that, Cornell, what are your thoughts? You there? Uh-oh. We have trading partner Cornell. We got to see where he's at. You're not unmuted, sir.
Oh, man.
You were muted.
And the final.
You gotta get the mute. You got that high technology over there you be talking about. You gotta press all them buttons or something, huh?
Yeah, it was high on the screen. Now, what is that?
What do you say when you hear the term market sentiment report, but fear works?
I really don't pay. I pay a little bit of attention to it, but you just gotta know it cycles. Same repeat setup. People fall into it. They use fear tactics to make certain things move. That's what's happening now. Then it gets worse for people because you don't understand economics. So they use sentiment to make money off of.
Well, even the
Just be
VIX.
VIX is the perfect example. Guess what? It's gonna do the opposite of what the market doing. Guess what? Somebody that's no economics gonna go put a trade in, and while everything going bad, then the VIX making a whole ton of money. Ain't gotta do anything. Put some more articles out, make a little bit more money because everybody's scared. That's how the world works. Everything manipulated. People don't believe it, but that's
Okay,
how it
well,
works.
let's. I'm coming at you today. We gonna come at you
Mm-mm-mm.
today. So, okay, if the market's manipulated, is crypto manipulated?
Yes,
Okay, so
institutional
okay,
institutional have the majority of the Bitcoin. Most people don't believe that because you're looking at all the stuff you be doing, but yes, the majority is held by the private institutions, which run the markets, forex, stocks, indexes. It's the same people. Look at the chart. If we look at the chart's the same. That's what I teach people. Let's look at the chart. You think gonna lie? Let's look at the chart. Let's look at the stock. Let's look at forex. Let's look at Bitcoin. All the charts look the same. Yes, because the same people control.
okay, that's a good way to put it. So now that we know that who's manipulating it, which is called the market makers, okay, we know that these people are there. How do you make money in a game that's rigged?
How you make money?
Yeah, that's what
You
people want to
go,
know.
you go, you go get the knowledge and stop going off the internet and go get the real knowledge and get in when they get in and make the money.
You say get in
Just
when
like
the
what
banks get in.
Bitcoin right now. Get in when the what you said, market makers get in. They got a language that they talk to each other in. Guess what? Learn the language. It ain't hard. It's a complicated system, but they use simple tasks to make their money. And just because you don't know that or try to put the effort in to learn anything, people miss out on it. This is simple. Bitcoin down to another level. It's gonna go back up to 60, 70,000. Make good. They go right back up, make $40,000 again off the Bitcoin.
Yeah, this is not financial advice or legal advice, but we're just talking speculatively about, the various different things. We got to give the disclaimer that, it's not legal advice or financial advice, anything that you hear on the podcast here, particularly in this recording. So, as we continue, okay, so you're vouching for the market makers, but
Why not?
how do
They
you think?
move the market. Yes, I'm gonna vouch for them because I done made money with them over the
Share,
years, and
share,
it doesn't change. It's still the same thing.
share a correlation between your personal life and how trading has affected it as far as your attacking fear and not being gun shy to pull the trigger.
I look at it as I'm investing in myself. Ain't no need to being scared. I'd rather lose money on myself than give it to somebody else on a scam or something like that. I go do the investment. If I know it's gonna better me and my family, I'm taking the risk. That's part of being an entrepreneur. If you ain't taking risks, you ain't making no money. That's period. You can sit around and talk like I posted on today. A lot of people talk, but they don't go and follow through. People call me all the time, say they're gonna do this and do that, thinking, "Oh, I want to hear that." No, it ain't about me. It's about if you really want to change that life for your family that you called and say you want to change. You scared to take the risk, but you'll go out and blow money on something else with no problem. That's a problem.
Right. Hmm. The fear is real.
The
We
fear
seen it.
real. The fear stops you from making money. That's just
Well,
bottom line.
well,
It
what
it
what do you think about your thought process when you talk about worship and money? How does that correlate to the fear?
to the fear.
Yeah, like you talk about people worshiping it. So how does that correlate to fear of,
What
the
I'm gonna
fear
give
word?
y'all a secret to making money. When you start worrying about money, you'll make money. People who chase money don't make money. People who chase how things operate and structure make money. People who go get the knowledge base make money. Not people that chase money. People that chase money sit like everybody now. You got your story off of the internet about crypto, but don't realize in the background the government over here already working on regulations and everything else. That's somebody who goes and seeks the knowledge. That's not a person that, okay, Christian, my buddy over here just made 100,000 into 100,000. I'll be honest with y'all. It ain't a lot of people doing that. They just make it sound good. You take one example, you get everybody to believe it, then everybody think everybody doing it.
Right.
That's one person out of millions of people who got lucky with $1,000 and did a hundred. But don't nobody explain it to you online. The only thing you see is that story. And it's good enough because you want quick money that all y'all go grab to it. Now they got y'all in. It's called network marketing. They're
There
gonna
you
make the
go.
money.
Thank you.
They're gonna make the
Thank
money
you.
off of you,
Thank
not the
you.
actual product.
That's what it's called. And we not trying to hear none of that. And we ain't building nothing like that. Like this, that we done talking about that over here. Cause you talk about putting together a real hedge fund, ain't no network marketing in the hedge fund world. Let's make this very clear right now. There is no network marketing in the hedge fund world. Even if you're talking about a REIT, they giving all the money back to the sponsors. 90% of it. But in the typical hedge fund, you're not getting back 90% every year as an investor. So this is just an interesting play to hear when we hear people talk about this, what you call the network marketing component, the recruiting component, and you see it on so many levels, and it's just like, man, this is an interesting play to see people playing this right now. They're calling it passive investing. You know, okay, so somebody comes to you, right, Cornell, and they say, I got a passive investment for you. And they're saying, well, look, you know, you say you're an active manager, Cornell, of assets. in managing assets and growing assets. Are you outsourcing right now the growth of your portfolio?
Am I out what?
Are you outsourcing growth of your portfolio?
Yeah, outsource.
Well, in the particular sense of giving your money away to some network marketing program to trade and in recruiting.
Nah, I don't do the recruit thing. Give me some actual investment. It may have a network market element to it, but I'm more interested in the product.
Right. So do you do passive investments?
I got a few,
Okay. Okay.
but
So
but
okay.
but nah, I ain't doing no recruiting. I want my money based on recruiting people. People go away. People come and go. A lot of products like that, if you've been in the network marketing world, not to knock people doing it, but they'll tell you 90% of all them businesses fail. But most of them got a network of people that follow them from company to company. So go follow. If you don't believe me, go look at the people that you follow, that you look up to, and see how many different companies they advertise for. Y'all don't realize that they making the money off of you. That means the business product wasn't worth anything. The company go up under. All they gonna do is go to another. This is what happened. I done seen it behind the scenes where people wanted me to trade for their network marketing companies and stuff like that. They offer all these people with all these people like y'all that's following them positions. They don't earn them positions sometimes. They get gifted the positions just for bringing all y'all over to their company. But then people make it seem like, oh, they started from the bottom, and you want to know why you didn't build it up like they built it up. They didn't. They just over the years they built a following of people that follow them from, if you listen to what I'm saying, from company to company. Guess what? That company is gonna recruit them for their people. They getting paid. They gonna give them a check off their people, not the product.
Hmm.
It would probably will work better if the product work, but most people that go to those setups and focus on just recruiting people, the business always fails. Like, or it go down, or it'll be gone in a couple of years. Most of them do.
Hmm. I gotta look at something very important real quick. I want to see something. Uh, cause things are looking a little terrible right now. For the most part, you know, it's hard for me to say it looks terrible personally. It's hard for me to say like our portfolio looks terrible. But for the most part, when we look at the like overall market, there's a lot of fear in the market. So we're gonna talk about this one company, pretty much. Uh, the company's name's Twitter. We're not promoting this company, but it's definitely down. This was supposed to be a major acquisition from supposedly a savvy investor. That's what they consider these guys. He's a savvy investor. The company's down over the past what? Over the past what year? It's down 10%. Maybe not the end of the world. You know, it's a public communications platform, but this was supposed to be now owned by what? One of the largest investors or so-called CEOs of all time. So when you see Cornell, the fear that's being placed in the marketplace, like, oh, the market's going down, the market's going down, it's falling out of the sky. This company literally in a year has only went down 10%. It's had its highs and its lows. It's pretty volatile. But you see the fear that people try to throw in the marketplace with these companies, and you see people trying to call like these companies that are going to be the next gangbuster or the next go under. Now we've sat here and talked about it. We could literally call stocks right now, like me and you. We could literally sit here and talk stocks. I mean, me and you could almost just sit here and talk crypto. We could literally talk these companies that are in these different areas. When you see though that overall the market's down, let's just go ahead and make that clear. The market's down. I mean, we can look at the numbers right now. We've called it 3,900. It's there. The market S&P's at 3,900. It's lost. It was at 45 easy, and it's just played around and just went down. I think the high was actually 47. So it's taking a breath right now. When you see The long-term investors just calling for all the big boy stuff. Oh man, we don't know how it's going to look over the next 2 years, but things aren't looking too exciting. Inflation's coming through. Oh, we're seeing the Fed push the numbers through. Oh, they're pushing the numbers through. So I don't want to go into quoting what I think the basis point move will be this year. I've seen what the JP Morgans have put out. I've seen their revisions on numbers. I've seen what market sentiments come from these banks, a Bank of America. I've seen their market sentiment. You see a Reuters, you see a Barron's, you see these different companies like market sentiment reports. And so things aren't looking too good. So there's some fear in the market from a lot of the older ones because they're like, look, okay, now we got to start thinking about our downside. How steep is this curve going to be? Now we want to say what the old heads always try to say, which the old heads say it's going to get worse before it gets better. You, on the other hand, we're not going to say you've called the market before because we're not going to say that. We can say
Mm,
just go back to the Cornell, listening to these previous episodes where he's talked. But this is your moment in time to really prove your shot again. When they say fear is in the market, before our eyes right now, we actually are technically, we're not 2 quarters in a row, but we're in the second quarter that it almost could be not a recession in GDP, but a recession in equities. And commodities have not lost value. Copper's up, heating oil's up, natural gas is up, oil's up. We see oil's up. Oil's down. It was in negatives. Now we see it's up. So we see oil up. We see some of these commodities. We were still maybe up. Lithium's up. To make these EV batteries, that lithium is up. We see those things moving as well. So let's talk. The fear is upon us right now, Cornell. We're already 2 or 3 months where the market's just been pretty much like flat. There's no air. We see a lot of investors selling off. A company I'm actually looking at right now, actually, they went IPO and they're actually allowed, the CEOs or board levels actually allowed to sell off some of their stocks. So, I mean, this company's falling out of the goddamn sky. And what do you think the CEOs are going to do? They're going to take their money and dip. Not to say they're going to lead the company, but they're going to sell off what little bit it is. And this is sad because this is the type of company that people will probably have been betting big on, especially for the long term. It's a technology company, so it has some technology in the play, and you just see a lot of fear in the market with companies where even the CEOs can take their money. I mean, you look at why would a Tesla, why would Elon buy a floundering company such as a Twitter? I mean, sure, he has cash at his disposal. Um, One of the notes that I took from having a conversation with you so far today was looking at companies that have really bad balance sheets, and I've heard of mentors talk about that throughout the years. Is looking at companies that have bad balance sheets right now, and so talk about that fear, Cornell, where there's companies that have bad balance sheets, and you're actually calling them bankruptcy. So that's a bold statement to say, sir. Is that these companies are in bankruptcy and that the public markets are overlooking it, and we could see a sharper downturn in the near term for what's really going on. I mean, to be completely honest, I mean, you literally said bankruptcy, sir. I mean, that literally means a hurts once again. We could possibly see maybe a meme squeeze once again. What is your thoughts, your sentiment on those downturn fear plays?
mhm. People need to be invested in themselves because it's a lot of companies blowing smoke. A lot of people, a lot of people comfortable with jobs. But like I said, I talked to a lot of bankers, finance people. A lot of people in foreclosure gonna lose their house. Once the government stop stepping in with this extra money, a lot of companies in bankruptcy already. All they doing is collecting money and gonna still exit the business. Probably ain't gonna even let you know they closing down. Next thing you know, you're gonna go to work. You're solely dependent on that so people get comfortable with jobs and don't invest in themselves. Now that salary gone. Now you gotta make a decision. You ain't really got no money saved because you've been using it while COVID been going on. So all I can tell people is instead of being down and following the trend, when you see stuff going on, that's when you should be really looking for your investment to take advantage, just like they finna take advantage of everybody else. They said that's what's gonna happen.
Okay, well, let's talk about
I'm
the
in
real estate
position
in
now.
particular. Let's talk about real estate in
Exactly.
particular. Let's talk about real estate. So real estate. You let's talk about.
If
Are
you got
you
some real estate, everything overpriced right now. Over the next couple of months, you might be wanting to sell it because once government step in and release all these foreclosures, it's gonna kill that market for a while. It's a reset. They reset it every probably 10, 15 years now. Reset. Guess what? Why am I gonna go buy real estate right now? Is it is overpriced. But guess what? When the foreclosures hit, because now I'm in position, I got the right knowledge. I sit back, I wait.
We've heard some investors on the public side actually talk about this for possibly for the past 2 years now, literally, where people are saying, "Oh, there's a foreclosure market that's coming upon us." We've seen, we could see them coming through, or we haven't seen them come through completely, but we're sitting here waiting on the sidelines, looking to deploy capital. Well, when we talked the other day, you actually said that you were not even looking for residential. What's your thoughts on that? Let's hear that.
Because we got to deal with inflation. Government, if y'all pay attention, interest rates is easing up. If you go look at mortgage rates, they've been easing up.
Right?
So the government eventually got to get back to doing government business. It ain't gonna be. I'll put it like this: this process will probably be faster if a Republican goes in office. The Democrats, they trying to get as much money to people as they can, but there's only so much they left that they can do. They borrowing a lot of money, but you got to deal with it, or you gonna mess the whole economy up.
Well, I think they're putting a
You
band-aid
got
on the
other,
market.
and now you got other countries trying to go around your money. Yeah, you got to hurry up and get this fixed
Okay, you want to go there? I was
real
waiting for you to
fast.
go there. Let's go there. So here we go. We're gonna look it up first just to confirm it. The dollar. Is the dollar up, Cornell, or is it down?
We manipulate our own money.
I got you, but is the dollar up or down?
I ain't even keeping up with it.
I'm
It's
and
probably
I'm
down.
and bro, the dollar from
It's
what it's
probably
been
down.
reported as. Let me make sure I got this right, bro. Reported that, bro, it's at the all-time high for the past 2 decades. Whoa, what, what? That was wild. All right, yeah, bro, for the past 2 decades.
Past 2 decades.
Yes, since or at least since the dollar, bro, hasn't been as high since 2017 for sure. But at this very moment, we're looking at this as getting ready to go back up to like 2001, like in 2 decades. In 2 decades, it's past that moment. It's up. The dollar is up. And we already know, brother, it's because of these Ukraine fools with the Russian stuff. They literally are making a dollar in some way go up. Why? Because they're trying to subvert the dollar. So he's trying to maybe denominate in that currency. Perfectly fine. Denominate in that currency. Do your thing. You sound like China with manipulating your currency, keeping it within your power. One thing we could say about the Americans is they let their dollar freely float on the free market. So they actually have a power now. Whereas if your money's not floating in other markets, it's almost a disadvantage. It's literally, I was thinking about this the other day. Think about if crypto puts a limit on how much money's in circulation, they might as well say it's like a country. Well, look at these countries that try to block out the dollar for what it's worth. For what it's worth, the dollar's up at 2001 levels. That's a 20-year ski ago. That's 20 years ago, Cornell. They trying to say the dollar's gonna get beat up and oh it's down. Okay, to only get to what would be considered the 2002 high would be $118. Right now, it's at 103. This looks like the oil play that we just saw play out, where they tried to subvert oil from the states, and now you got to go through over there through their country and get oil. Well, then they look. They tried to starve out these countries in the EU of oil because the countries were pretty much they got contracts with the country to get oil. United States oil still high. Still over $100 a barrel. And the dollar's etched up over that 20-year mark. When you say there's a fear in the marketplace, it doesn't sound like there's a fear in the dollar right now. What do you have to say about that, Cornell?
It's not a fear in it. About the what? The dollar?
There's no fear in the dollar right now.
But see, they go back to your knowledge base. My knowledge base is deeper than everybody. Because they understand that the U.S. created Forex. We manipulate our money. We own resources in other countries. So we don't worry about it. That's what's really going on. Don't think somebody else is controlling it. We control it. We manipulate the dollar as much as we want to because, to be honest, they don't never plan on paying that debt anyway.
Okay, we've established that. That's probably a clear misnomer. Okay, okay. Can we get you maybe to even share that Web 3.0 thought process? Let's hear what Web 3.0 thought process is, Cornell, when you say that essentially a country may go into default because we've actually seen a country recently. We can maybe pull
They
it
go
up.
into default all the time. You pay close attention. You see a lot of the time they make sure they try to go back and straighten it up with the U.S. We invade countries. We go in and get some of their main resources. Most people don't even know that. Like we controlling some of these countries' resources. That's why you see a lot of countries don't say a lot back to the U.S. Now you got Russia and China who want to be like the U.S. Yeah, they try to make moves, but a lot of them other small little countries and stuff like that, they already know. Look at the U.S. U.S. cut off certain supplies and some of them, they done because we smart enough to go in and get the real resources that we know you're gonna be dependent on. So get what? We owe you money on the back end, but we ain't paying you. So we already helping you out. We're giving you the resources that you don't got in your country. But at the same time, we're controlling your resources. That's how the world works. We manipulate our dollar all the time. Richard Nixon, for y'all that want to do your research, want to fact check, Richard Nixon put Forex into effect. We manipulate our own money. When the gold stopped backing the dollar, they put the Forex into play.
Look,
I
look,
know somebody's gonna try to fact check it. Go fact check it. Then the fact. Richard Nixon created that system.
look. So Mozambique, just a country, for example, Cornell. Now this isn't what we could say 23 trillion. This isn't a 23 trillion deal, but it's a deal. Mozambique strikes a deal for 456 million with the IMF. The deal after a 6-year freeze. The IMF held a previous program for hidden debt scandal, and now they're giving them funds for them to continue their gas pipeline so they can continue pumping out gas. That type of situation. $91 million immediately available to them. This is what's going on, man. Like, these countries are getting money. So, do you see the United States get money from the gov or from the
To
IMF?
the United States,
Yeah, do you see that?
yeah,
Because
they getting the money.
okay, so in the World Bank, so at this point, we see the fear in the marketplace. But Cornell, we can't sit here and act like we not making money in the marketplace. Now everybody else's portfolio might be going down because they holding these big FANG companies and they got the big major FANG companies and their money's going down. So now that we know the FANG companies are going down, where do we really look on the time horizon for the next 60 to 90 to 100 days in the marketplace, almost to the end of the year? But at least right now, where do we see the marketplace really at?
It ain't even went down yet. It's going down, but
Okay, so you're
it
calling the top here.
it's gonna crash.
Oh wow.
You gonna wake up one morning, and it's gonna be one of them big old cracks. Like this is why I've been stressing people investing in themselves this year. If you follow not the internet but the actual facts, They already said in the situation with the real estate alone is gonna probably be 10 to 20 times worse than '08, '09. But then you take COVID into play. COVID took a lot of businesses and stuff out of the picture also. There's two problems to deal with. Major problems. Nobody keeps saying that. I talked to banks. So let me tell you something about a few of your friends that done got PPP loans and government money. They ain't paid their bills in the last 2, 3 years because the government keeps stepping in so they can't be put out their houses and everything. Like life ain't gonna go on after this money stops. Do I feel sorry for those people? No, I don't. Because you actually had a golden opportunity to get ahead if you had to use that money the correct way and invest. A lot of people I know that received that money, ran through that money, had a good time. But on the back end, what people forget, ain't nobody paid no bills. You don't think people, mortgage companies and all that, been waiting 2, 3 years to collect on the debt that they issued out to people ain't gonna put you out your crib? Something wrong. This real life out here. So I tell people, you got to invest in yourself. Like I'm listening to texting somebody now. Help them make some money. They count the money before they get it. But you weren't even supposed to be like that. You don't really supposed to be touching that money. So I'm
Thank
trying
you.
to tell you,
Let's
without
let's end
question,
it on
like
that. Let's end it
don't
on
count
that.
money. Don't count money before you get it.
Oh no,
Matter of
no,
fact, you supposed to be built on from that money, waited a little while, then came back. Because see, that wasn't even income you should have been even included because you was already dealing with the issues you had going
right, man, it's crazy, man. It's so crazy. So
on.
talk about not eating the principal, living off the interest. Before we wrap up here, talk
That's where
about
you're
that.
trying to go to. So a lot of investments I make, like people like, I don't really get into a lot of people businesses and stuff like that anymore. I go make real investments where eventually, me personally, I'm gonna go do so many different things. It doesn't matter what slow down. In these times, you don't know what's going on. You got a lot of money fraud and all kind of. It's slowing down process, but it's not slowing down somebody that thinks like a millionaire or a real entrepreneur and go out and get 7, 8 different things started. Money coming in. Guess what? Rich people don't even use their money. This is what y'all don't get. People say, "Oh, well, I got a little money, man. I can go do this, do that." You go right ahead, but that ain't what a rich person that's making M's is doing. They use other people's money.
Okay, so why you don't want to trade for other people if that's the case?
The headache because you don't understand the economics, you ain't got the knowledge, and really, most people now because of these new wave of things coming out, they just want quick money. I don't want nobody calling me that don't understand investing. Like
Right.
it's a headache. I would just say that because it's hard to explain something to somebody that looking and count money, you know what I'm saying, before it even come back to you. You don't put $1,000 in, somebody said they're gonna help you make $8,000, you already got this. Like you already got it accounted for. That ain't how it works. You never gonna come up like that.
Right. Such a different way of investing. I think that's why it's maybe so wild. Like it's like, oh, everybody got different strategies. Yeah, the way that they think about managing the money. That's what's going on. Are you thinking about how you managing the money? So you say you living off the interest, not off the principal. You not going in and touching the principal. You know. Well, any parting words for the audience here? I know you gotta run.
Invest in yourself. Y'all hear me keep saying the same thing. Go do the research. You heard what we're talking about. Go do the research yourself. Go
Trustee
really just sit
Training.
down. Go sit down and see. Okay, I hear them. Now don't go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Go to them government sites and news sites and really read and sit down. And you'll be like, oh, Yeah, some real stuff going on. There's some real stuff going on out here, and most people ain't even paying attention to it right now.
Well, how are you investing in the relationships to get the information? Because you just literally, I'm gonna go ahead and bust.
Knowledge,
No, no, no.
knowledge,
We,
knowledge is power.
no,
Like,
we gonna bust them down. No, we gonna bust them down. Cause we know a lady that you literally said she literally just stole a brother's operation to teach information because he don't want to teach it on the internet. She came up with an ebook. How you got to invest in the relationships. Talk about investing in the relationships, to get the information. Because you say investing in yourself, right? She did, and then she took that shit and she opened up a business off of that, bro. She opened up a bit. She tried to teach people of it like she the pro ski, like she's living off of this 24/7. And it's just like, wow, this is crazy. Like that's the market for you, though, man. They writing ebooks.
you got a lot of people that do that, but if you doing what you're supposed to be doing, stuff like that still ain't gonna even bother. There's plenty of folks that probably done took my trading class and tried to go teach it and everything else, and probably use them on PowerPoint and everything. I really don't care because, like I said, once you build a certain relationship with people, it ain't going away. Relationships make money way quicker than people think they're gonna go out and make it on their own and start some. Like, I can't stress that enough. Don't burn no bridges. You never know what somebody's gonna be at. I tell people that all the time. I help a lot of people. Guess what? They go from traveling to restaurants to business. You never know. That bartender could be eventually the general manager. That person that was pushing paper could be eventually the person that's over that whole department. If you rub your nose up because you think you got everything going on, or you burning bridges, you wouldn't know that information. Later on, guess what? You stuck. You might need them later on down the road, and then don't and didn't even know it. Now Christian need to go do business with that company. That person gonna remember that Christian snubbed his nose up.
Yeah, I don't really do that, but I know what you mean.
I don't do that. I got good relationships every state I go, all levels, because I got my knowledge up. I'm talking about stuff that people really don't know about a lot of times.
Right.
And on top of that, I don't do nobody bad. Period. I ain't gonna do that. That's gonna come back. But guess what? I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm really truly genuine messing with real people. It's gonna come back around to me.
Right.
I ain't gotta ask for nothing. I ain't gotta do nothing. And that's how I be nowadays when I do things. So now, guess what? That saved me money. Really don't spend money they don't have to. Yeah, people see me wear the Gucci and check. I got a relationship with everything you see that I'm doing. From the jewelry to the clothes I'm wearing to the places I go. Not paying full retail price, FYI. If you get your knowledge up and some of the things we're talking about, you'll be surprised how many people will reach out to you and make sure you're okay. So they want that knowledge. It ain't always about the money all the time. They want knowledge. If you ain't got the knowledge, you ain't got nothing to offer. So now you ain't gonna be in a relationship.
Crazy. And that's the way you got to end it on gratitude, being thankful for the relationships, thankful for the knowledge. We appreciate you, Cornell, for coming through. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening, replay. Feel free to reach out Christian at trustchristian.com for trustee training. That's how you get that private knowledge. Christian at trustchristian.com.